welcome to Tom's Country Kitchen. I'm going to be making some moose jerky, as we have quite some moose meat in the freezer, and jerky is a nice snack for on the go or just as a healthy-ish snack on the couch. So I have a piece of moose meat here. It's from the back. And it has been marinating in soy sauce, herbs, a little bit of sesame oil, that basically, for about 2 days in the fridge. And now I'll be slicing it as thinly as I can before I put it in the drying machine. So here is the piece. This is one of 3 that I took out of the freezer, and I'm just preparing them one at a time because there's not as much space in the drying machine. And I think the one that I still have in the refrigerator, I might add some syrup, some molasses to it, to add a bit of sweetness. This is mostly salt and herbs. But to the next one that I'm going to do, I'll try to add some syrup, so that I have some different flavors. So here we go. And now we're just going to fit it in the dryer as efficiently as we can. And then when it's in, it's now 3:30. I'll switch it on. And then, depending on what it looks like when we go to bed, we might leave it on a low setting overnight, and then it should be done tomorrow. Some very interested dogs here, and although sometimes they do get a little snack, like a very small piece of jerky, it's not really great for them with all these herbs. So as much as I'd like to give you something, Loki, you're not getting this. We use this machine for mushrooms as well. So if you pick a load of mushrooms, you can use some fresh to cook with, but the ones you want to keep, you can dry out, grind into a powder, and then you can keep it for a very long time and just add it in sauces. So now, dirty hands, I'll set it to 60 degrees. I'll just put on the rest for show. Switch it on. And that heats up and blows hot air through it. So you could also do it in the oven, or if you have a sauna or anything with heat and a little bit of air circulation. We have a heat pump here. We could also hang it in front of the heat pump, but it's just nice to have it done a bit more quickly and controlled. So as in all cooking shows, here's one I made earlier. Just rinse my hands. So these are the ones I made earlier. Nice and dry. You can just tear them, break them in half. So you can keep it for a while. Easy to take. Still quite a neutral flavor, but a bit salty. Nicely, I don't know, umami type, healthy meaty snack. And a very good use of all the mousse we have in the freezer. It's now 2 days later and all the jerky has been processed and dried. This is the last batch from which I said I'd add some molasses to. I did. I added some syrup and some hot sauce in the hopes of creating some sweet and spicy jerky. So now I'll just taste a piece to see if there's a difference in flavor. It's definitely a bit sweeter, but it's not really spicy. I think the syrup has mostly made it less salty, maybe not as sweet, but definitely taste less salty than the previous batches. And there's a hint of sweetness to it, but no, I don't taste the chili, even though I did put chili powder in all of them, all of the batches, and in this last one I put some hot sauce type Tabasco type of hot sauce in with the marinade. But there's not even a hint of chili, so I think I might need to just apply some chili oil before I put them in the dryer so that they are coated in oil. I'll try that next time, but for now all of the batches are done, so now it's just packaging them so they can be kept for a long time. We bought this machine for hunting and then being able to package all the meat so that we could keep it for a long time in the freezer. It's also very convenient for other things like mushrooms and like this. So here we go. Nicely vacuum packed jerky. That's just convenient to put in your bag when you go on a trip and want to take a snack. So there we go, probably a kilo of meat, and a few days later, and this is the amount of jerky. Well, there's also this bag which I've been already snacking from. This is the amount of jerky you get from that. Let's put it on scales, let's see how much that is. About 330 grams, including the packaging, of course, but that's still, if you have to buy that in the shops, jerky isn't cheap. So let's say this was another one of these baggies, so probably let's call it 400 grams. So that's not bad, and it tastes nice. It's not that labor intensive. It's just you do something, you leave it for a day, you do something for a few minutes, you leave it for a day. So I'll definitely do this again when this is almost gone. And if you have any tips, suggestions, what you like to use on your jerky in terms of marinade, herbs or recipes, whatever, leave them in the comments and I might try them out next time, because this is only the second time, and I'm very keen on learning new stuff to make it nicer and better. Thanks for now for me, but stick around because after this Nathalie's going to be making some bread rolls. See you next time, bye bye.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Tom's Country Kitchen, this time with Nathalie. I was thinking we would make some bread rolls for dinner, white bread rolls, just witte puntjes. Nothing special unless you haven't had them in a really long time and you used to have them with like knackwurstjes or whatever. So I saw a recipe online and I figured why not give it a try. So I collected all the ingredients in video style and let me just talk you through them. So I've got fresh yeast, some sugar, 10 grams, 2 eggs that I'm supposed to beat, got some water, some milk, some butter and some salt. So first I need to mix the yeast in with the milk and the water. So we'll put in the yeast first. I've never really used fresh yeast before, so I'm not sure how it's gonna behave, but we'll see. And then we'll add some milk. That's water. And then we'll add some milk. And we'll give it a little mix. Just so that the yeast can dissolve into the water a bit and kind of activate. And I'll add the sugar, 10 grams. I think the yeast will like that. As another activity, we're supposed to beat the eggs, so we'll just quickly do that. And here I have 500 grams of flour. So we'll just put the salt in a little bit at the bottom of the flour so that it doesn't immediately touch the yeast. Because it wants to be a little bit protected. We'll add the egg, the milk, yeast, water mixture, and now I'm going to put it in the machine. We'll add the butter a bit later. This is going to take about 6 minutes. Alright, and here we are. The dough is ready to rest for 20 minutes. So it's been 20 minutes and we're going to start shaping the dough and like making little breadzies, hopefully. So I have the dough here. Too much. We want bits of about 80 grams. Okay, that'll do. Well, after this egg wash, these babies need to rest for about 40 minutes and then they can go into the oven for about 6 minutes, so it will be really quick. And then we'll have to see. It's funny, Tom and I have both been kind of baking bread, trying things, and I think must have been every single European person who ever moved abroad has said like, oh, the bread is not like it is at home here. So yeah, we're having the same experience and we need to learn to bake some nice Dutch bread. Time for the breadzies to go into the oven. Six to 8 minutes. Now I have melted butter, melted honey mixture that I will add to half of them because the recipe calls for it, but we weren't too sure. We like eating our bread with savory things too, so.